you think for a $50 tournament, I could sell action for like 1.3, 1.4 markup easily? Like at
So
least
like,
try it,
yeah,
but
you're
for bigger stakes, I should go for maybe 1.1.
yeah. So the way, yeah, exactly. So like for lower stakes, I would try to sell for like higher markup. So like at 54, like basically. So let's say a 54 tournament that you're completely rolled for it. If you don't want too much variance, because the fields are huge, like this 3,000 player fields, you know. So basically, what you can do, you can sell at exactly the markup that you think your ROI is, you know. So if you think your ROI is 30% in this tournament on first bullet, which probably is close to that, you can sell at like 1.3 and get basically immediately your EV. But let's say there is a $500 tournament, and then it's like a little bit outside of your role, and you think your ROI is probably 10% there. Then you can maybe sell at like 1.06, so you leave some money for investor, because on higher stakes investors are smarter and they're not really going to. I mean, depends, like, but they're not really going to buy too much at like high markups. But also depends, um and the best way to sell is like to you have to play regularly. Like if you play a lot every day and sell every day, then like same people are gonna start buying from you, but
I
eventually, you
see.
know. In the beginning, it's gonna get slow because those buyers are buying from same people, but like if they see you somewhere, you know, like on some final table or something, they'll start buying from you a lot, you know?
So even if I sell with no markup, it's still good, right? Because maybe I can play like a 300 main event.
Of course, you should definitely go for playing like this higher stakes. Even I would try to play like you can try to sell for 1K. You can sell like 90% for Masters 1K or something like that. You know, because like let's say if you are able to sell 90% at even like face value at no markup, then basically your $100 investment will be pretty good, because immediately you're gonna get um, like around $20 from the rake back, basically, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
so it's immediate on your $100, you immediately get 20% ROI, which like you cannot really get anywhere else. Plus, you're gonna get some EV from the tournament. You're probably gonna be winning at least 5% in that one. You know, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
that's
sure.
great. I see.
Yeah. So like you can try like that, and then if you don't sell, you don't have to play.
Yeah.
But it's basically good way for you to invest your money, because you already have a pretty healthy role, and if your money is staying not used, basically you're costing yourself EV every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else? So what I wanted to talk. So what I marked here, I don't know. You see that here. You say that you are gonna check and call down the river, which is fine. I don't think it's anything. Oh, okay. So this one is fun. So this is like you call the flop multi-way and then it goes check and you say like you're gonna bluff, which is like really good here. I like this approach, because people are gonna fold a lot in these lines where they check the turn. So they're going to be folding to props a lot. So however, like the hands that are going to fold are going to fold to smaller size as well. So I would bluff for sure, but I would just go smaller, because you also said in the recording that you're targeting hands like ace king, you know, like this kind of stuff. So these all hands are just going to fold to a smaller size as well.
Yeah.
So that's a small thing, but yeah. Let me see if there is something here. Yeah, so you decided to go with a big bet here, which I really like. So this is something that not many people are doing versus weaker players, that you just want to put the exactly the how much your hand is worth. You just don't care about balance, about anything, and you're just betting the size that he's not gonna fold an ace, and you just don't care You just want to size up, so this is all good. So there was this hand here, where it's one of the first hands that I don't like from the part one. So this guy squeeze and you both call, right? So that was the pre-flop action. And
yeah.
And you call the flop, which is kind of I would just fold the flop. So basically, what I feel like this is insanely huge bet, like for multi-way pot, and yeah, I understand. Like you mentioned, basically, if you hit something, that you're gonna be able to stack his ace, which I don't know, like maybe if you hit a 5 or a 4 or something, so maybe, but the problem is that his range is so strong that I don't think he's gonna have like a random air betting into two guys, and there is another guy behind that is still to act. So I
Yeah,
would just
I
fold. I
mean,
would just fold this.
this is a clear fold for me, but this is monster bounties, like
I
it's
see. I see.
75%. So I thought I couldn't fold for monster bounty, but maybe it's a
Yeah.
stretch. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I
It's not
understand the monster.
necessary.
I understand the monster bounty, but this will hold true if this is like much lower SPR. So this is still huge SPR, and it's like gonna be really hard to get the money in if you like, I don't know, it's just like, yeah, I mean, if you think you're always gonna stack his ace, how many outs you have? Like, not that many, it's just like
And like
well,
the four completes 7-6, and maybe even a fish can slow down, right? So it's
yeah,
not
it's not.
100% that I'm gonna stack.
Yeah, yeah. So I would just let it go here, and I against such a big bets, I would just
Yeah.
be like a very passive and fold a lot.
Yeah, makes sense. And he's not gonna check the turn ever. I think like very little frequency, and even if he
Yeah,
checks, it's not like he's weak, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, he basically, and then there was an action going from the turn. So like, let me try to find. Uh,
Yeah, because if I remember correct, he checks the turn, and I end
yeah,
up
and
betting
you
into a
ended
strong
up
range.
bluffing the,
Yeah.
yeah, which also I don't think is great. Like, basically when he bets big, he rep a polar range, and then like I'll just, um, yeah, I would just let him have it basically. Uh, yeah, yeah. So this was it. So, um, yeah, and then yeah, you said basically now you're gonna try to bluff the turn, which is kind of like it's really hard. I mean he's a fish. He might have kings and queens, but it's very unlikely that someone bets huge with kings and queens here. So, which is, yeah, like I don't know, but he ended up having a6 of diamonds or something. But yeah, like it's just a spot that I would just let it go against the big size.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there is two hands here that I want to talk about. One is a king queen, and another one is 10-9. So how do you feel about the 10-9 here?
I think it's really close. So maybe with this anti-size, I should always call. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
exactly.
ended up folding, but I think it's a pure call.
Yeah, this is like huge ante, and it's uh just like a super easy call basically, because yeah, it's making like a lot of chips because of how big antes are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't know like yeah, this is 0.25 ante, so it's really huge. And about this one, so what happens here is like, um you raise and he called preflop, and there was no small blind in the hand. So I just want to talk about the ranges. How will you play like this spot without the small blind in the hand as preflop raiser basically? So this was like, let me see, king queen, yeah. So yeah, this one. So yeah, you basically raised pre-flop, and there was no small blind in the hand. And you basically mentioned that you're gonna range check here, but maybe you thought it's BVB, that you didn't, maybe you didn't see that it's like a raised pot.
So actually, like in these low, very connected boards, I'm like playing almost range checking, but this is just because I don't know how to do better. Like I think it's really complicated spot for me.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking that you think that because you think they don't have lead, so you have to play very passive. But the thing is, like it is for sure the board that it favors them, and it's a really good board for them. But it's not necessarily a spot where you want to check range or check close to range, because there is few things here. So as you know, basically, even the fish and the regs are going to probe turn more than GTO, because they naturally are just going to fire, especially these kind of turns. They're just going to fire a lot on the turn, and that's going to automatically exploit us, basically, if you check a lot on the flop. So we want to avoid that spot where they're going to put a lot of the betting volume on the turn, right? And
Okay.
against a big bet on the flop, it's like not something that it's easy. So like this hand would be like one of the first that probably pure checks. But you had a similar spot later with Queen 9 or something where that hand was a pure bet, and you played kind of very passive on these boards. So what I suggest is not playing super passive on these boards. So let's first talk about the preflop for no small blind. So where is that? I had that king queen, yeah. So basically how this would play is like you would also like to have some limps here because you want to play high VPIP, because you basically play kind of similar as heads up but not the same. You're going to be in position to basically play button against the big blind, and you want to play like, what is this, like 63% VPIP with some raises and some limps. Like you can simplify, you can just play raise and play bunch of raises, but it's important to raise quite a lot in this spot, which a lot of people miss. So I just
Okay.
want to mention this. And as for post flop, yeah, so this is going to be the board. So I just run the big blind versus button normal spot just to show some kind of dynamics here. So what happens is like he's supposed to lead a lot. I don't know how players on these games, if they are aware how good board for them is and how much they lead. So when they lead, we are supposed to bet half of the time. What happens is like if they don't have a lead, it's going to be very close to what you mentioned, that you get to play like a very few bets and you're going to size up. So we can try to just remove the lead, and what's going to happen, so basically, do you know like why this lead happens, like why it's like so big blind is leading here?
So like first of all, big blind has good equity overall sport, right?
Yeah, as we
And
can see
like
here.
I think we start playing leads once we check and button checks behind over like 60%. So
Exactly.
if the
Nice.
imposition player is checking behind a lot, we must play leads, right?
Exactly. Yes, very good. That's very good. So basically, whenever they check more than 50%, so there is no spot basically that in position. I mean, there is very rarely a spot where big blind doesn't have leads and in position like bet like 30% only. So what happens is like if the board is such a bad for the imposition, the big blind don't want to. So like big blind has, you can see here on this graph, right? The big blind has advantage here in the top and also like a huge advantage here in the middle range, right? So it wants to put money around. So it really hurts the big blind to if it goes check, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So if but let's say if we force the imposition to bet like 80%, what do you think? Would you big blind is big blind going to lead?
No, now
Yeah.
we check raise.
Yeah, exactly. So the biggest problem is basically what you mentioned, that whenever you so you can translate that into like exploitable strategy. So whenever you expect your opponent to play passive, and there is a lot of hands that wants to put money in, you just bet yourself. So here, this is basically how this developed now. So if big blind is range checking, then we play like what you mentioned is like almost a range check, but still betting some hands like queen nine, you know, like the bottom offsuit stuff are still, and you can think in a way that like queen nine is going to fold out queen 10 off, queen jack off, right? A lot of hands that you're automatically dominated by. So yeah. That's about that one. And it goes check, and he check raised and you folded, which I really like. I think this is just a under bluffed spot. I think especially after you bet half pot, I just don't think he's going to. He basically snap raise for almost all of his stack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super strong line.
Yeah.
Like as I mentioned in the video, like if he has something like jack of clubs 7, he's gonna bet himself. Like I don't think he's ever checked.
Yeah. But I would probably just check, try to check on the turn myself. I don't see like too much gain from a bet.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see what else so this is the spot type. So like how we want to play as RFI. Yeah, this one is interesting. So you basically say like go for a check fold here. What do you think about this one?
Yeah,
What do you think first about this board? Like, is it like good for you, neutral, or bad?
So thinking a little bit deeper now, I think I might have a small advantage here because I don't know. I think like I have queen 10 off, which he might not have, but
Exactly.
not sure.
Like,
yeah.
So the easiest way is to always think like, what's the offsuit combos? Like, what are the offsuit combos that dominates the both of the ranges, right? So you have like you have the everything around this. You have like a 9-10 off. You have a queen 10 off, jack 10 off. Like you're all around.
Ace
you
queen.
Basically don't miss too much. Ace queen off. Like So a lot of stuff that is connecting with this board you have. So it's quite a decent board for you, right? Like yes, he's gonna have some stuff as well. But it's a pretty decent board for you, right? So these middling boards are not gonna play that passive. So and also like when you take into account how they're gonna respond against this. So if you bet small here, hands like pocket fours are supposed to call like quite a lot, right?
Yeah, I would guess so.
Yeah, so this is basically the EVs are running like very close, but as you can see, like you have like some advantage in the like basically top 10% of the range, or like this part here. You have some sets that he doesn't have, and basically you're doing well here in this middle part of the range. The easiest way to think here is like how this is going to develop after you bet small, like especially for your hand. Like your hand wants to bet like pretty much pure. And the easiest way to think is like, I have a hand that cannot really check call. I mean, it can check call probably against this size, but it's not great. It's probably check folding even against this. I mean, it's check calling, like it's check calling, but it's not great if he uses a super small size. So it's just better to bet myself and force him to this node where he needs to call like pocket threes most of the time, pocket fours most of the time, pocket fives almost always.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna be really
aces.
suited aces, backdoors. Yeah, like it's just gonna be pretty hard to. So basically in all these spots in position is not folding more than like 15-18%. Like when the ranges are close, they're basically defending MDF, so they cannot fold too much basically. So and it's quite difficult to do that in game. Yeah. So yeah, I would bet myself here for sure.
Yeah, this is very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like even other thing is like if you don't bet, I think it's better to check call than check fold. Like all of this is also a hot spot where after you check call out of position, the really big hot spot is the river pro. So if it goes check on this turn, so basically they're going to fast play a lot of their hands, and they're gonna end up folding a lot. They're gonna step once, check the turn, and fold a ton on the river. So then like you can basically check call wider than solver suggests and wait for spot that they check the turn, and then you print money by probing. So they're just going to overfold massively in that node after they check the turn, because they're gonna fast play the hands. It not necessarily fast play. They're gonna basically bet the worth of their hand on the turn and check the river to kind of avoid that. They're not gonna have the middling part of the range at all checking, on the turn. So that's kind of a thing that happens. So they're supposed to bet sometimes the middle pair and then check the turn, and then yeah, they're just not gonna have that enough. Okay. So I mean, this is a small thing, but I think in bounties. So first, this is a bounty. Second, this is a small ante, and I would raise small size here. I would not really, yeah, and you're in early position. I understand your logic that if there is a lot of fishes, you want like heads up pots more often, and I understand that. However, here you kind of want to raise wide, and you don't mind big blind coming in as you cover him. And the ante is small, and you're already giving him trouble even with a smaller size. So I would not 2.5x here, but it's, again, like as I said, not a huge deal.
But you would still open wide, like
I would
that's the
still
point,
open
yeah.
wide. Yeah, I would still open wide. Opening wide is fine, but I would just not size up. Yeah.
Okay.
So the basically how GTO would work with open sizes is like you would open from like at 8-handed table, you would open from min raise from UTG, and then up to like 2.6 on the bottom, and in the middle. So as you go closer to the bottom, the size will go up.
Yeah.
But again, it's not a huge deal, but something to have in mind, basically. And yeah, like you can get away with sizing up because people are gonna play kind of face up, so you can maybe play the same range for a bigger size. That's fine, I guess. But in bounties and small ante, I would not do that. Here, I mean, you folded, but I mean, you probably misclick or something. I don't think you want to fold here ever against the fish, right?
Yeah, I think like 3x might have an effect on me snap folding this hand. Like I think I didn't like think about it too much and just ended up folding. But yeah, I don't think I should fold like this hand ever against a fish. We are very deep.
Yeah, we're very deep. There is a lot of EV in hitting a set and stacking him. Yeah, so. What is this? So yeah, there was few spots like this. So how you feel about this one? So open, call, button, and call small blind. So what do you think is the play here?
So this is like interesting also because I know that even though our pot odds improve with more players in the pot, like the equity dilution, let's say, like our equity dilutes faster, so we need to play tighter even though we have better pot odds.
Yeah, of course.
So I think also this button call and this small blind call is like really that money.
Mm-hmm.
They are tagged as fishes. They might have like 40-50% VPIP. So I think I should go really hard on them with my squeezes.
Yeah, I agree. I
And
agree with that. Mm-hmm. But what about this
and
hand in particular?
so I remember this hand. I think I squeezed fold versus Darius, and I felt really bad after that because like he can gen eights, he can gen nines, he can gen tens, he could even gen like ace ten suited. So I
Mm-hmm.
think I should just gen like gen and play it easy. These retards they are gonna call like ace nine off out of nowhere. So I think I should just gen.
Yeah, just jam. Yeah, yeah. This is like what I want to get through. So like you basically squeeze. There was few spots like this where you squeeze. I mean, when you squeeze and he jams, I think it's kind of okay to fold against the jam. It's not a huge deal. It's very close. But I would probably jam myself because it's just like you can. So even for like yeah, so this is a spot at 40 big blinds, 45, 35 call. But even when you have like 50 blinds, you can probably jam for even 50, right? Like, see? Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, this is 30 again, effective against him, but even for 50, like you can jam. Like if everyone has 50, you can like mix jams and raises, you know. So yeah, and especially if these two are dead money, so jamming is just going to perform pretty well.
Perfect.
So why am I? This is the ISO. So I thought that was like EP against the big blind, and then I figure out it's the ISO pot. Which I think was played like fine, like you bet small and let me see.
I think I get check raised on the turn in this one.
Yeah, and you call, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you get check raised and you call. But what I wanted to talk about here, yeah, like I think I wanted, so I first thought that it's EP against the big blind, and there is a quite an important point here, where you want to play size ups on these boards, which I see a lot of people are not doing, especially
Ah,
when you have
okay.
value. So the main size EP against the big blind, main size is going to be B60 for like even 25 blinds, right? So like if you,
Interesting.
yeah, like um let's say if it's like, and I will explain why, right? So if it's like low jack big blind and the board is like whatever it was, like ace king eight. So what kind of happens is that it's a huge difference. So that basically low jack is crushing everywhere, and it just wants to push equity. So it just wants to size up. And the most of the betting volume is coming with this size, right? So yeah, there is some 1/3, right? And it's because we want to bet aces and kings and queens and whatnot. But if you say to solver that you're allowed to play only one size, it will definitely choose the bigger size only. So it will go for B60 or B50 or something like that, right? And bet most of the range. Yeah, actually, it goes for B40 here because it wants to bet these type of hands as well. But what you can do probably for highest TV is probably like 4.8 if we do like this and this. Probably should be the same, I guess. 4.8 here and now, yes, the same. But my idea is that like this kind of hands is going to perform really well against population. Do you think they're gonna fold the king if you bet big on the flop?
Well, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
and look at this. Like they're supposed to fold the king like 35% of the time, basically.
and they can only call king with backdoor, right?
Yeah, exactly. And third pair is almost always folding, and they might be compelled to call like a pair on the flop, you know. So it's like it's just a spot where they're going to basically yeah just do really and they're supposed to raise you with like against a big size, because you're gonna bet very often. They're supposed to punish your thin value bets and then raise like with ace 9, ace 10, and this is gonna happen 0% basically. So yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
mhm.
with bluffs, do you think I should size up, or I
No,
should plan
no,
like for three
you can play
streets?
you can play small with bluffs. You don't have to. Yeah, you can just play small with bluffs. But value, I think, is very important to bet because like it's kind of the same as it comes to the betting volume we get after we bet certain size. It's kind of the similar thing that we spoke about when you want to have a lead from the big blind, right? It's
Yeah.
just a spot where we have a lot of the equity. So if you decide to bet small, which most people do, like see this board, yeah, let's just bet 25 here. What happens is like they need to put money in for us. They need to raise 13% of the time. So they need to pure raise 8-3 suited, right? Like this is not happening on super high stakes. Like there is no way.
Yeah.
So then basically when we do this, we count on them to put money for us, and what's going to happen, this 13% will go down to like 3% or something, and then we don't put in near enough money. And there is also some problems here, that after we bet small and they call, I mean, it's not really for 25 big blinds, but if you're deeper, let's say this is like 40 blinds. There is some problems for small bets. So here is going to be like a lot of big bets. So what's going to happen is if you bet small here, which like a lot of people do, and you can see there is no small bets here. If you bet small, this is actually like a very draw heavy board, like a jack and a 10 or something. Like a lot of these cards are going to make a straight, and even if it's something like even more draw heavy like this. So again, there is not going to be a small size, and the problem with small size is like if you bet small and they call on a lot of turns, like a deuce, like a 3, like a jack, like a 10, we're not going to be able to value bet super thin for value, right? Because they're going to be straight on the board that they have, we don't have, right?
Yeah.
So then like you can see that we kind of have to slow down with and play more polar strategy. Whereas if you just bet big, if you go for this b5, they're gonna fold this type of hands, then they cannot call anymore, and then we can actually play more aggressively on the turn, even though they called against the bigger bet, because they're not gonna have straight as much now, right? So
That's
they're basically
nice.
gonna have straight almost never, whereas before they're gonna have straight more, and same is gonna happen on like a 10, for example. So now they're gonna have straight 3.6% of the time. I mean, and in reality probably zero. Like the people are not gonna call maybe this queen jacks type hands on the flop that much. Maybe they call with a hard, because the bet is like b 80%.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much they call in reality.
They are not gonna expect like some checkbacks, and they are not gonna think they can still bluff the river or something. So
Yeah,
I think people just fold.
yeah. So after a big bet, we check only 14%. And after a small bet, we probably check more because they're gonna have straight more. Now we check like 28%. And yeah, they're just gonna have straight a little bit. I mean, it's same, but the difference is kind of like we had more of the straight before. But yeah, the problem is like that now. Now they have straight a little bit more, and then we kind of have to slow down a little bit. But the main idea is basically you just don't want to wait them to put money in for you. You just want to bet how much your hand is worth on the flop.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, this was the queen 9 hand. So this is basically the kind of same thing where you check here at, and especially at 40 big blinds, I feel like this is going to be a pure bet. Again, you can fold out queen 10, king 9 off, right? Even ace 9 off might fold. So a lot of better hands that you're dominated by queen jack, queen 10, like all of these offsuit parts can just you can just fold out here. And you're gonna have pairs that he doesn't have. He's supposed to raise pre-flop like with 9s and 8s and stuff, right? So you have,
I should go for like big size and make a hand like queen jack of clubs with that has the backdoor fold. So
yeah, I would
it
bet
should I should
Mhm.
go something like that.
I would bet 4 big blinds, something like that, 4 5, something like that. Not, you don't have to go maybe too much bigger than this when there is a straight on the board. However, when there is no straight on the board, if it's a 7-5 deuce, I would go bigger. So this is, so I'll show you the difference here. So whenever there is a straight on the board, you cannot go huge. However, when there is no straight on the board, you go for that pocket pair advantage, right? So what do you think? So let's say if it's a 7-5 deuce, 100 big blinds, what do you think is the main size for imposition?
100 big blinds.
Yeah.
Uh,
So let's say it's
I,
100 big blinds.
I think we want to play a geometric size most likely. So I think we would start with 150,
Yeah.
150 pot.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, like, we want to start with a huge bet, right? So we're gonna do like a 150 or 100, right? So like a something like an overbet is gonna be the main size, and basically this is the pushing of these where we have advantage here or asymmetry in this part of the range, right? We have like 9s, 10s, jacks, queens that they don't have, so we want to push around that. But as soon as there is a straight on the board, we cannot really bet that big. So like if you put 6, so there is no B150 anymore because there is a straight on the board that they have, and we cannot really going for a big bets anymore. So see how all the sizes basically tuned down by like a, yeah, so everything that was 150 now goes to 100, and everything that was 100 goes to
Yeah,
B66.
I see. Like a hand like tens was pure betting, and now
Yeah.
it can check a little frequency. So it really
Yeah.
decreases the value of these combos, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And back to the 40 big blinds and this board. So hand like queen 9 is just going to be a pure bet even in GTO, and in reality I think it's just going to work really well. So yeah, queen 9 with a diamond here is just going to perform really well as a bet, right? So something like this, especially having like both heart and diamond. I mean, here is heart is irrelevant, but the idea is that you just get to fold out a lot of hands that you're like, they're even supposed to call queen jack, queen 10 offset, which they don't really do. Do you know why they're calling this type of hand sometimes? Like why? So for
Uh,
example, they're calling this rather than, so they will call these type of hands rather than, and they will fold the pocket pair, right? So they will fold, or they will fold ace high, which is much stronger, like relatively, or they will fold the third pair, right?
yeah.
But they
So
will call the
so
queen high.
I think there is like two main reasons, and
Mhm.
first of them is we are not supposed to big bet aces, kings, and not even queens pure. So we are mainly wrapping eights, sevens, which he's gonna have two overs to that. So I think they have lots of they kind of have good outs in that
Mhm.
sense, like a hand like king, queen, king, jack. So I think this is reason number one. And
Mhm.
I think reason number two would be that they will make up for good bluffs on the river.
Mhm. Mhm. Uh, uh, they will. Yeah, like I don't know how they're gonna be good bluffs, but the thing is that the kind of main thing is, um, when these cards come, their betting volume is going to be insanely high. So they're going to be putting a lot of money in for us. They're going to basically not expect us to have many of these hands, and they're going to be putting a lot of money in for us. And there is a really huge equity boost for these hands when they hit the turn, because we don't have them too much. And when they hit, they're going to be really, really high equity. So on a queen, they're going to probably bet close to range, because we're not going to have any queen X really. So they bet almost to range, and they put a lot of money in. And they bet kind of like a pretty thin for value still, right? So they're going to bet a hand like king 6 for a big bet, right?
Oh
So
yes.
same is going to happen on a king. They're still going to bet quite a lot, so checking only 30%. And Jack is also going to be a really a card that they put a lot of money in. So this is a kind of why we want to be calling these hands. So in when we are playing against players that are not very aggressive, these calls are gonna be burning money really. So like if they're not gonna, so the only value of this is basically when we can hit the turn and we double up basically, where they like blast off almost always, you know.
Yeah, but I tend to think that
And
it
also like
seems such a good card.
we
They are
fast play
gonna.
also.
Okay, so we want
So
to
this
deny equity.
because they're gonna bet like a6 and 9s, and so whenever they bet linear, we want to punish that, right? Doesn't matter, the size doesn't matter. Like, so this is the common misconception, right? So people see big size and like, oh, they're big, I don't have many raises. That's not true. It's always about the polarity of the range. So if they bet linear and if they bet big, we still raise a lot. You get that idea. So basically the good example of that would be this. So like we have like 10-8-6, let's say, rainbow, and low jack against big blind, right? So they're gonna bet big on the flop. But they're gonna bet like a most of their range, because they have a lot of the offsuit stuff, right? So I mean, we can make this a little bit more clear. So let's do like hijack against the big blind, and then do like 10-8-5, and do AI, so we can just have one size. Yeah, so it's just going to be big size, but they're going to bet a lot. And what's going to happen here, we're going to raise some like a really weak 10x, some even 8x, and some so because they're going to bet ace queen and ace jack, we kind of want to punish that, right? Doesn't matter if they bet big, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of want to raise sometimes. So this kind of size is not great, so we want to probably size smaller a little bit, and then do it like this maybe. But yeah, the idea is like we still want to raise some kind of hands like 10-9, and even hands like this wants to sometimes raise. It will be higher effect of this would be if you're a little bit deeper, because here we are kind of, when they bet this, we're kind of too short. If you're like 870 big blinds or 60, it's going to be more of this.
I
But
see.
But this is the idea, like it's the matter of like if their range is polar or linear. If their range is linear, if they bet a lot of their range, we always want to have raises.
Great. Makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay.
So would you, for this
Mhm.
spot, should I go with blockers like I have the 9 of diamonds, I bet pure, or I can
Yes,
just think
yes.
like I have queen 9, I need to deny equity, I need to clear my outs, I always bet any queen 9, like.
I would bet like most of my queen nines, because like I would think they might overfold to a big bet on the, as you saw. So they kind of have to call all of the pairs, and still call some queen jack, king queen type hands with diamonds. So they might overfold to a big bet, but they're gonna play naturally well. I mean, well, naturally okay with the pro aggressive, basically in the pro blind, right? So if it goes check check, they're gonna play somewhat aggressive, right? They're gonna always
Yeah.
think we have ace high, and they're gonna start stabbing. So it's better to play our bluffs as bets, and we can some marginal showdown value we can play as checks and punish there, and also like we can do some checks with stuff when we are deeper. The really the good hotspot when we're like 80 big blinds deep is like to raise small probes and basically jam many rivers. So if they probe small, they split the range a lot. They don't. So let's say the turn is on, like let's say like a 10 or something or 9, and they bet small. So this is a good hotspot to just raise big and bet river, as they're always going to be kept at some middle pair and low pair or something like that, and they're even going to fast play. So if you raise and they have value, they might even fast play immediately. They're
Yeah,
not gonna. Yeah. So this is just going to be a great hotspot to play aggressively against probes.
I see, I see. And so, and just to think about the turn, if
Mm-hmm.
the turn is like Jack of spades, I think can still barrel a lot this card for the reasons that he's gonna
Oh
have a
yes,
lot of gut shots that gonna fold, right? Maybe even
of
they fold
course.
flush draws. So I think I can still have opportunities to barrel the turn, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, of course. Like you're gonna have like a jack, you're gonna have a queen where you pair, you're gonna have a king, which is gonna be good. Ace is gonna be like whatever, like not great. But like king 10, king like 10, king, jack, all of these cards are gonna be really good. Queen, you're gonna have a pair, so you're gonna have like a really good barreling opportunities. And also like on the flop, you expect overfold. So yeah, I think it's just better to play aggressively on the flop rather than
Yeah,
put this in a checking line.
yeah.
Okay. So, what is this?
Also,
Hmm.
this hand I call the flop and overbet the river.
Oh yeah, I like this a lot. Yeah, he snap checks the turn and you go for thin value for a huge size.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. So this is one of the things that really makes a lot of EV where we know that their range is capped. We want to value bet thin with pocket with like our middling stuff. So this really is important for us to gain a lot of EV. So this is great. I think this is a good way of
And,
thinking.
and this is why one of the reasons I don't like check raising this hand again, especially against this position. I think they are gonna play face up the turn, and so
Yeah, and
I
check
know
raise
this
would
hand
be too
raises.
thin. Yeah, I mean would be a
Yeah,
little bit too thin here. Yeah. So yeah, it's basically like raising sometimes for protection, but it's just not really something I would do. Um, not sure what is this. What I marked here. So maybe about this hand, or maybe about this hand. What was this? Hmm. There's gonna be some misclick marks, but yeah, most of the things is fine. Um, yeah, well, this one I marked. So you remember we talked about how we want to have our ISO strategy at 40 big blinds, that um, they're limping way too strong, and we want to avoid ISOing this kind of stuff too much. So did I show this kind of BBB seams before? I think I did. Hmm.
Vlada, I will take 2 minutes to go to the bathroom. Okay,
Sure, sure,
be
sure,
right back.
sure.
I'm back.
Okay. Yeah. So this is for BBB at 30 big blinds. It's going to be very similar at 40. So the idea is this is the GTO range, right? So what database suggests is that most players are not limping enough. So they're missing like all of this bottom part, which makes their range much stronger for limping. And when they face ISO, they're not folding enough, right? So our adjustment would be that, so like if their range is like this, missing basically all of these parts, so I put some of that into raise, whatever, but just the important is they're missing this part here. And I put basically the same same ranges that I found in one of the databases. They're gonna limp around 40% and then facing a 3.5x raise, which is the most common one, they're gonna fold 40%. And this is the strategy that we got basically. So what we want to do is size up, because they're going to limp call much more than they're supposed to, and play more value heavy range basically. So we're gonna go linear and size up basically. Yes, we're still gonna have some bluffs, but as you see, like we're checking like 67% now compared to like 40%, which not 40, like what we usually do, like less, you know. So we're rising less here, but we're rising more linear and less bluffs. So this is the adjustment we want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's about that one. This is all fine. Yeah, this is, I think, great. Like just fast playing value always. That's good. Yeah. So this I think is kind of unnecessary. We call the flop, which is fine, and the turn, I think I would just fold. I don't think they're gonna have, like, first the EV, the value of your call on the turn is depends solely on his give up frequency. I don't think someone is going to lay this line. Basically, he raised big on the flop and small on the turn to give up the river. This is just almost never going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So like he's either going to bluff the river if he doesn't have it, or if you have it, he's just gonna bet anyway. So the only like high EV calls on the turn with these high cards is when they have a lot of give ups, and this is just not the spot for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can just let it go. What do we have here?
Oh, this mean raise at a satellite that I joined with 10 beaver, 10 big blinds.
Yeah, I think this is great. Yeah. So you mentioned basically that this is like maybe a mistake or something. So the idea here is like with 9 big blinds, you can jam like ace 9 probably, and ace 8 is going to be a raise anyway, and you can for sure go wider against weaker players, right? So the problem is like if they're very call happy, that then it's not going to be great. But with these stack depths, I don't think it's going to happen. So just to show how this is going to function is like if you just look, what was that, like 9 big blinds, or yeah, 9 big blinds, let's see. Just in like a regular 9 big blind scenario where like you basically no. Yeah, you're close to jamming, and you don't want to have a raising range here with no ICM, but let's look like G to G1. Yeah, something like this. So for example, even GTO is raising here A7. So like this is a very good indicator that this is going to be a good play, especially if you look how they need to respond. So the first guy has to raise ace 10 off, king jack suited, ace 5, ace 4 pure. Second guy, ace 5, ace 4 pure, ace 10 off, like not happening, right? Same
No.
here, ace 10 off. So like the 6 is ace 10 off, ace 8 suited, king 10 suited, it's just not happening. Then gets to the button, ace 10 off, ace 5. So like everyone basically jams these two. That doesn't really happen. And then as it gets closer, small blind is jamming even wider, ace 9 off pure. This is just not happening. And the big blind might play close to this, whatever, but it's just very easy for this to become very, very plus EV. So like whenever it's close, whenever it's close with these short stacks and you want to raise, just always raise.
Oh, great. That's
Okay.
nice.
What's next? Yeah, this is probably ISO BBB, the same thing as before. So you ISO wide these 30 effective stack sizes. So let me see if I have some sort of sim for this. Probably not. Is that king 4 off? No. Yeah, anyway, it's basically going to be the same. You just want to ISO more polar and basically I mean not really polar but like a strong hands but few bluffs basically.
Yeah.
And this spot is maybe a little bit different when they will have a raising, when they cover you by a lot. They might have a raising range a lot and they might be a limp super weak, so maybe that's a different story, but yeah, like it's just hard to say. But still, so this 2.5 raise fine. I don't know what is this.
Maybe the king
The
jack
5-3.
bet.
No,
Oh,
the
5-3.
5-3, the 5-3. So the open is fine. Like you just go a little bit wider. That's okay. I don't mind. However, on the flop, I would just play check. So yes, there is. I understand that they might be overfolding. However, this is a specific board where they overfold just a few hands, I guess. And they're not maybe going to raise enough, but I think this type of hands is just going to play well in the check line. So let me see if I have this one somewhere here. It should be somewhere here. I mean, we can just open it, right? So let's say like a 30 big blinds, right? And this kind of stuff is like not really something you can get away on in higher stakes, let's say. So you basically cannot really play a balanced strategy with. So what I would do, I would just play big and check here. I would not really have a small size, a big size, and a check, because this is going to be very easily exploitable, right? Because what happens is, like, when people do this, they're kind of have a face-up range where they don't really have enough strong hands, and they have a lot of like a hands exactly like this, 7x, 5x, 8s, ace highs, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So to avoid playing like a face-up strategy and get used to play like a little bit more sound strategy, you just want to think about the boards, and you understand how boards works, and these kind of boards is just something that really favors the bigger size. And yes, solver, if you allow, solver will still use some small sizes. But this is like very, I don't want to play a strategy that has like 6% of small sizes, right? So it's just
Yeah.
something that so what we can do is like, what we can do like a little bit of the 5-3, whatever, just to see how that will play. And I will play like a b60 and a check, something like this here. Yeah, so this makes much more sense, where the EV difference is very huge here, right? I mean,
Yeah.
between obviously these two sizes, but implementing one more size is kind of very difficult.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, you understand how
Like splitting on the flop, right? It's really difficult
I
because now
mean,
I
you
have
can do
two
it.
big nodes, right?
No, I agree. I would do it against weaker players, and everyone here is probably going to be a weaker, and you don't mind doing that. But I think you don't want to build too much of a bad habits, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is kind of my idea, that if you always say, yeah, I can do whatever I want, then like you're gonna play a 1K, you're gonna play a 5K, you're gonna play something, where like you're gonna still end up with old habits,
Yeah.
and stuff like this are gonna get like easily exploited, like as you know, like when you see, if you're the big blind here and when you see something like this, you just go really hard against that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like even if you compare the small size, it's still a 4 big blind difference, so it's quite a lot, right? Okay. Yeah, so the queen deuce here, I think you can even get away opening here because the antes are big here, and the queen three is going to be an open anyway, and you can easily like get away with opening wider because the button is supposed to flat so much, which I don't see people do, right? So
Yes.
yeah, if you look at some of the PKO stuff, like what we're at low jack, something like this, right? We're at low jack or hijack. No, we're at hijack. We were hijack, right? Because yeah, low jack would be pretty optimistic, but hijack is kind of reasonable. This is different because the big blind is covering us here, so it's just changed quite a lot when we cover the big blind.
And this is not PKO also, right?
Oh,
So
okay,
I guess you
yeah,
should.
yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, I was surprised to see a little bit because like these hands should be pretty close when we cover the big blind. Uh, hmm. Yeah, there is no sim like this, but I mean you can. Maybe if you look like this. I mean, this is when big blind covers us. This is not good. Yeah, let's say something like this, right? Even with like 10 big blinds on us, like and big blind slightly cover us, we get to open queen five. So like this is not gonna be a huge. So 0-0-4 here is not gonna be huge. Like we can probably make it up because this guy is not gonna be calling as much as he should. So in some sims where, let's say this hijack open, button is supposed to call like 5-3-6-4, king 4, jack 8, whatever. They're not ace 9 off. They're not really finding all of this, so we can probably get away with this 10 opens basically.
Right.
I don't know what is this. This is probably maybe ace jack.
Yes,
You call a
I
squeeze.
remember.
Yeah, you call a
I think this
squeeze.
is a three bet pot. I think I open from the button, hit three
No, no.
bets, I
You open
call.
call and he squeeze, you call the squeeze, and you call the
Oh,
flop, and he
okay.
snap checks the turn, goes check check, and then you were thinking about the value bet, and you did go for value bet, which I really like. I think is just like uh, you can have a lot of bluffs available, and basically it's a free roll somewhat. Like he snap checks the turn, he's just not gonna have any strong hands. He's gonna have some ace king that he might hero call. He might have some tens that he might hero call. So the only thing is I would just play like a smaller size. You bet like 2/3 or something. I would just bet a little bit smaller, but that's kind of it.
And do you prefer betting the turn instead?
You can also bet the turn. Yes, I think this is also great because he's gonna have like hands like ace king that will call the turn. So I would not expect many check jams here after his snap check. So I would also bet the turn as well.
Nice.
Fives I think was fine. Nothing to talk about there. Yeah. What do you think about this one?
Mm.
I had a bunch of sims here. I don't know why I.
So this is early game.
Mhm. But what do you think about his
Uh,
size?
I think his size is bad.
Yeah, of course.
Uh, yeah. But I To be honest, I don't know how to respond to that sizing. Like,
Yeah, so basically he's just, so like if he's some huge nit, maybe you can fold, but against almost everyone like that has a bigger stack and three bets you hear, like you can call extremely wide because he's basically allowing you to, like he's giving you a great price with no like any ICM pressure, no anything. So basically you can call insanely wide here. So yeah, this is your opening range, and then and the interesting thing is like this is not a realistic opening range, but the thing is we get to open more because their size is capped to the 6 big blinds. So if they the 9-7 will probably not get in the opening range if we allow them to three bet us bigger. But the thing here is when they three bet so small, then we are basically allowed to open wider because we can just call everything, right? I mean, we call everything suited and even like king jack off, like we can just click. So 9-7 is gonna win a ton.
very nice.
Yeah. And you ended up
So
calling. You ended up calling in game, but you were just not sure. So like when someone gives you like a huge odds, so why not, you know? But I mean, given that he doesn't, given that he has some bluffs available, but which people will have, I think.
I think so because like I think the small size is weaker than if he goes like 3x. So I think he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna have a lot of
Yeah, yeah,
enough at least.
yeah, for sure. Um, so yeah, there's here a thing that translates to a lot of other spots as well. So what happened here is you ISO and he donks the flop, I think, and he
Yeah,
pot bet the turn. So I would just basically fold always on the turn. You don't want to bluff catch against guy. I think that, I mean, I don't know much fishes like this, but from my experience, when people use such a big bets here, they either have a high equity hand or already a made hand, right?
yeah,
So the thing is like in theory how this works. So if he would use a pot bet, he would have to have like a really polar range with a lot of bluffs, uh, and it's just going to be really hard to have that here. He's not going to have like a king jack with the jack of clubs type hands, right? He's just going to have more like a combo draw, a flash draw, a two pair, a sets, whatever. Like he's just going to have a either a high equity or strong range, and against that, like this hand is really not doing well.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is a minor thing. So you say that you might want uh, to check here, which is not great, obviously, and you ended up betting, which is fine. Like you just don't want to give free cards here, and especially this guy seems like a fish, so I would not really give free cards.
Yeah, okay.
So that's, I think, fine. Yeah, you have this ace 10 here. What do you think about this ace 10? So it's like 380 left, 217 the money.
Well, I guess theory calls
Mm-hmm.
maybe we fold. Yeah,
Yeah,
tough
okay. So
one.
like I'm not sure how people play here, but I mean this looks like a really easy call for me, but let's see what do you think their range is. So I mean this is the GTO ranges, which they probably don't play, but against that, like it's just printing, right?
Yeah.
And let's try to make the range as it is, right? So probably remove all of this. Let's remove this. Like just try to make it like really bad for us.
Okay, so
And do some ace king.
I would say they mostly would go like 50-50 with the induces. So I think a lot of players just jam with ace queen suited, this
Mm,
kind of stuff. So like maybe 50% frequency. Yeah, these
like this.
pairs I think also jam. Um, you even removed I think I would put all suited aces in, and yeah, seems fine.
Okay,
Like this.
let's try against that. So the risk premium here should be quite low, I think. It's like probably like 5% or something. So small blind against the button is like less than 5, so 3.7. But yeah, like against the range that you mentioned is just a fold, which I find interesting. Like this I don't really see people play this kind of tight ranges, but I can definitely agree that some recreationals can play like this, and this can be a fold. So you probably
But it's
like
still
your
very close,
intuition.
right?
Yeah. Your intuition is probably right because you played a lot of these tournaments, and then you kind of see like what ranges people show up with here, and if they have like ace king offsuit and stuff like very often. Because this, I made it really bad for us, so I have them like jamming pure ace king off, which yeah,
Yeah.
like, uh,
Yeah. So I think the this spot is like a big field close to the money bubble. So this is when I think fishes really slow down. Like
yeah,
I think they
and
play
this is
really scary.
and actually this is like very close. So it's only losing $8 against the worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as we, let's say, like, let's do like 50% this and this, and this is already gonna make it plus EV.
Yeah. So yeah, can't fold.
Yeah,
'Cause-
so like this is already like now $20 plus. So
yeah,
it's
yeah. Right.
depends. Like, what do you think? You kind of have to have a stronger note, I guess, to fold.
Yeah.
What is here? Ace deuce, you squeeze here, which I think is like nice. I mean, the problem is like you're covered by two players. If you cover, I'm for sure fine with this. But when you're covered, I would probably avoid this against 2.3 also. Like, I don't know, I would just not squeeze, I think.
Okay.
But I think it's fine. Like it's a good combo. It's just one of the first ones that goes for a squeeze. But yeah. Um. Yeah. So this one is interesting. So let me try to find this one. Is this one on the first video? I think it's the first one. So it's 1-1-10. Hmm. Uh, oh no, 41-52. Sorry, 41-52.
Can you see what time is it at the print? Because I can maybe say if it was like first record or second one.
No, it's probably a second one because it's yeah, it's a second one because it says 41-52. Yeah, it's a second one. So let me open the second one. 41-52. Yeah. So Helims, you check back. You briefly talked about the ISO, but you correctly mentioned that he might have a little bit too much limp gems, which is true for this stacked up. So you want to go super polar. You don't want to ISO these hands that are kind of a ways to raise and fold, right?
Yeah.
So you check this, I like it, and then you call the flop, which I also like. But on the turn, how you feel about this one?
Yeah. So I I tend not to believe these double barrels, small blind versus big blind, because I think like he bets 100% or not 100, but he bets 100% of his air on the flop, I would guess, and then on the turn, yeah, it's tough. Like I really dislike calling down like this. So I guess it's a bit too much for me to call the turn and the river. Like So
I
yeah.
like the call. Actually, I like the call on the river because he bets small and the call on the river is fine, right? But the problem is like even though you know he's gonna overbluff the river, you still cannot call the turn because the price is so big, and he has a lot of equity. Like you need him to first like miss everything. Like he's always gonna bet kind of equity time hands, and this bet is huge. So he bets 3 into 4.9. So it's kind of a pretty big bet. And you need a better hand than this, and it's still like even if he bets a lot, it's kind of hard to overbluff. And especially if they're not the people are not splitting sizes. So you know how this board should be played, and what do you think is going to be the main size on the flop here on this board as in BBB for small blind?
Mhm. That's interesting. So I think we bet like 66% because
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I
Yeah,
would
you're gonna be
guess.
surprised because like uh again, like where you think is the advantage of the small blind in which part of the range? So yeah, I'll let you. I mean, you're gonna see the strategy immediately, but I mean, it's just um. So basically, the small blind has advantage here in this top of the range a little bit, and it wants to push that, and it basically wants to play a lot of the two street games. So it starts with this size, which is kind of geometric, right? So B120 on the flop, and this is not something that you see really, right? So
Yeah.
it is like checking a lot and then betting huge sizes. So what happens is like people are not playing like this; they are really playing like everything in a small size. So that kind of messes up things for us quite a lot. So let's do like so it was like the small blind was making like 1.5 EV, right? So let's see now. So this is more realistic strategy when they put everything in B40. So they make a little bit less, 149. They don't lose too much if they play balanced strategy. But as you said, like they might play like too many bluffs. Uh, so yeah, let's say B67. So let's remove the so they should again go for a bigger size that they bet too small. So when they go this, so basically they're allowed to have a bunch of bluffs. So they have like 37 to 36, like 40% of their range is some sort of bluffs. But you might be right that they're not going to give up hands like 9-6, whatever of these offsuit hands. So maybe if you start adding those, like we can, but this is like huge EV loss that we need to this is not the one. So where is the yeah, this is the comp. I mean it's a huge EV loss that we kind of have to it's really hard to make up for this, right?
Yeah.
Like even if we start, let's try to quickly add some so let's say they have like they pure bet gut shots
And
they pure
flush
bet
draws
open
maybe.
enders, flash draws, combo draws, like all of the good draws they pure bet. uh
Yeah.
and they, let's say, bet what else more like, yeah, let's just like go with this and see what happens with for our king jack. Yeah, like now it's just but it's kind of kind of different combos, but it is getting close. But still, as you can see, even if you make their strategy like really unbalanced, we're still struggling to make a lot of EV by calling here.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, that's cool. And then yeah, the river core I really like because he bets small and then you're getting amazing price.
Yeah. So in comparison to the ace 10 spot where I face the button gen, like there is 9 scenarios that ace 10 is a good call, right? and there is one bad scenario, ace 10 is good fold. And
Yeah,
in this spot, it's the opposite, right?
it's
There
the
is like
opposite. Yeah,
9 scenarios that it's bad, and there is one which it's good, right?
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
bad judgment. Yeah, I see.
yeah. Yeah, so you asked about these spots. This is, I think, fair to and good thinking that people are just gonna struggle defending against raises here. So this is a board where you're gonna have more flashes than he does. And I think if you start raising and blasting off here, you're gonna do really well as because like they're not gonna be able to defend properly here. It's like when you raise here small, they're supposed to defend hands like king, queen, no club, for example, you know.
Yeah.
So you can attack this kind of boards a little bit more for sure.
Okay.
So this is about the queen 10, and this was something I think I saw in your database that you're missing some low jack opens, and this is for sure a good one that can really make the EV. So like, let me see if I have the queen 10 here. Uh, I don't. But I mean, you can see by the cutoff edge low jack at 25, it's just gonna whenever you see that the solver is mixing, then you can I mean it's just you can see that by this that this open is gonna print, right?
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah, for
just
sure.
just looking like the responses, it's always gonna be hard. Ace 5, Ace 4 always VPing from each position. Yeah, like this all is kind of hard. So yeah, like you don't face as near as this much jams. So this is the worst thing that can happen. They jam and you cannot realize any equity, which doesn't happen enough.
Yes.
So that one, and ace 8 you jammed here and you ask like basically if this jam is fine, and this jam is just going to be pretty good, I think. Alternatively, you can call if you think they're super tight. Maybe you can call, but I think jamming is still going to do well. He's still gonna have like ace 9 off and stuff that he's gonna fold. And yeah, just your hand is gonna perform well, even against kind of nits. I feel like it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like maybe we can see something like pre-flop only, like small blind 15 against 25, something like this. Maybe low jack opens. And yeah, maybe actually like you maybe do better as a call with these few hands, I guess. They're gonna make some mistakes post flop maybe, and yeah, maybe you do better as a call here.
And because he probably supposed to always call ace 10, right? And it's the bottom off suite. So
Yeah,
I think,
yeah. Yeah, he's calling ace 10 and even mixing ace 9. So maybe he make mistakes both with facing rejam, but he's also gonna play bad post flop for sure.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can
I agree.
lead some boards, whatever, you know. Um, what did I mark here? Ah, deuces. Um, so how you feel about this one? So this is in the money.
The money. So
Mm-hmm.
mm, yeah, I this is like a gray zone for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would
It's
guess I
uh-huh.
can't fold a pair for 7 blinds.
Yeah. Yeah. So like Solver would want to do some kind of weird things to call here. Which I don't. I mean, I understand kind of why this is going on, but it's kind of you need aggressive big blind for this to be like good. So the solver would pure call deuces, would pure call like these kind of silly hands, right? Um,
Yes.
and but you can also call all of these hands. These are kind of natural. You would probably call this. This is just outside of the jamming range. You cannot call, but you don't want to fold. And the risk premium here is this is also important, almost non-existent. So you have 7 big blinds. You're in the money, so your risk premium is like 2% or something. Maybe not even that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Makes
like yeah,
sense.
small, yeah, like 2.7, almost nothing, right? So, but this is the reason why it calls here. But also you see that jamming is much better than folding also, right?
For sure.
So, but the reason why call is good is that the big blind. So after it goes bet and a call, big blind is supposed to raise 12% and jam another. So 15% of the time, you basically get, so he raise and the first guy folds like 70% of the time basically, and then it gets to you, and you basically put it in with the range, with his dead two big blinds,
Yeah.
So this is kind of why ace deuce and these hands like really perform, because now the EV of this is huge. So you're making $400 now. I mean, this is 1K tournament, but this is like you make like 40% of the buy-in here. So it's a ton of money in this line. But again, like you need him to raise all of this stuff, which like if someone is aggressive behind, then maybe it makes sense. But yeah, like post flop, like yeah, like the line where you call and he completes, then like, it really sucks, right? With deuces. So you really need this guy to play aggressive.
Sure.
So
But I
that's
would still call everything else that was pure calling. So
oh,
I
of
Jack eight
course.
suited, like always
Yeah,
call.
nice, yeah. Yeah, and that those hands are gonna perform well in the post flop line as well. This is about the mystery bounty. So do you know how you can calculate mystery bounties in HRC? I don't
I
know how
go
much you play
for
them.
uh yeah, not much. I kind of dodge them a little bit.
Yeah,
But
they're pure gamble, but people are playing bad in them, so there is some EV there for sure. Because like everyone is playing kind of way too nitty. And then I mean, like it's a huge gamble, but probably there is some, maybe there is a lot of fishes, so like maybe it's okay to play them. And basically
yeah,
how you can run them is you can run them as a regular uh, KO. So like you can just set up them as uh, put here a normal KO and put the size of the KO. So to calculate the size of the KO, it's pretty simple. You just divide the mystery prize pool by the percent of the field left, and you usually get around around three binds. And what I will do, I will share with you, so how it's called, like mystery pen and paper. How do I have that? Uh, fucking hell, how I can find that now? Maybe it's in Google Slides. Mystery. Yeah, this one. Sure, if I'm allowed to share this, but this was from all time. Just don't share to anyone else, please, because this is not
oh,
my.
of course.
This is not mine. So like, yeah. Okay. So you can see there like how you can basically calculate your own PKOs and stuff. But and usually works around three of the start, and it's a lot. Usually it's like three binds, which is like a lot of chips basically, and you can gamble insanely wide. And you also want to make a strategy around like VPAPing as much as possible. So you're gonna have a lot of limps, and then yeah, like I mean, I don't know, like, but it's probably worth spending some time at least learning the basics, and you're gonna already be much better than anyone else.
Yeah, it's really hard to run a scene because you have to allow limps, and the
It is,
scene just
yeah,
gets way too big.
yeah, it is true. Yeah, I was running actually the Jack 7 with the this is FGS of an FT. Yeah, fuck that. This is not good. The Jack 10, yeah. So yeah, the basically the cutoff range was non-existent, so I don't know how to put this and oh, what, this seems like too tight. Um, so what we have as a risk premium here? Small blind against button 3.8. Yeah, not much. So yeah, like this is a thing. I don't know what is the range here of the small blind, but they can play something like this probably. And against that, we're just like, even with 4 big blinds, it seems that we're not favoring the broad pairs or anything, but pairs are doing really well. So we basically go pairs. I mean, it's weird that ace jack folds, but it's just because of the
They
of
don't
the
jam pairs.
yeah, like we can fix this probably and say, like, I don't know what people are jamming there for this many big blinds here. But I mean, maybe something like this. So then we can see. Yeah, now Jack 10 becomes a call. So it's fairly dependent on what you think he's jamming. But he's some sort of frag maybe, and he might have like a yeah, like some hands that you do pretty bad against. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna have that many pocket pairs, but he's gonna have maybe jack off and this kind of stuff a little bit more than he should, right?
It looks like a lot, like king jack suited
Yeah,
doesn't want to raise fold.
king 10 suited, like a lot of hands that you're not really doing well against. What is this? So he 3 bets and you call he 3 bets small size and you call. This is fine, and then like you call against the small size on the flop. Yeah, this is all fine, but this is kind of close here, but it's fine. Here not really too much to talk about. Yeah, tens here I feel like jamming is performing better when it's like not really far in the tournament. So like this is, I would look this as the GPV basically. So 25 effective, big blind against. So I would think he's still gonna call like sixes and stuff, right? I mean, he's not gonna fold. So if you look at pure chips for 25, cut off big blind. Yeah, that even jacks are pure jamming. But if we let's say put some a little bit of ICM, let's say 50%, and then we have like 25 against, so let's say everyone 25. So now it is getting close. I mean, depends really what we expect him to do. So like, I mean, you can do based on the opponent. If you have some history, if you think he's gonna jam wide, you can do it. But if you think he's still gonna call wide here with all the pocket pairs and stuff, you can still jam. I feel like when you jam, he's still gonna call like this kind of range, so you don't really mind. Maybe he folds these two, which you're not really. King Jack, you're okay for him folding, but he's probably gonna call sixes plus anyway.
I think so.
This is a small thing, but I would call here. Yeah, I think you can make plus EV call here.
Okay.
Uh,
And fold versus blinds, right?
yeah,
If they
fold
jam.
versus blinds. Yeah, yeah. This you squeeze and see, but this is all fine. This is all fine. I don't know why I marked this many times, and this is the last one. Yeah, here, so you're covered here, but I still feel like the jam is gonna be, you go for a squeeze, which with this stack size, I think if you want to raise, which I think is best, probably I would just jam here. Like the hand is just too good to squeeze fold, right?
Yeah.
And even if you're covered with 30 big blinds, I feel like we're still this hand is still good enough to jam, right? So we don't have really that spot. Maybe something like this, but it's not the same. Big stack opens. Small blind calls, but we covered the small blind here, so like here is different. But yeah, it's just gonna be like very close between two options here. Yeah, this is it. I think yeah, in general, you do really well exploiting these guys here, and yeah, I would really suggest you try playing some higher stakes. Because yeah, as you mentioned, if you already have a pretty good role, you should like put that in. You have a role and you have skills, so like just you should put that in use, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, is there like anything that you additionally want to talk about? Is there any questions, anything that you think I can tell you that will help you improve in some way?
Let me think a bit. There is, yeah, unfortunately, there is nothing in my mind
Doesn't
right
matter. So
now.
like, yeah, if whenever there is something you want to talk about, you can write me, and yeah, like any question you have, like anything, uh, like whatever, like bankroll wise, poker wise, tournament selection, like I can give you advice as like in areas that I know. But if I don't know something, like I can I guess tell direct you to someone who can help you better with that.
I
But
appreciate a lot. Thanks.
yeah, okay, cool, man, and yeah, hope to see you in some higher stakes games. And if you're up to selling action in some stuff, like you can message me. I'm definitely going to look to buy some action from you if you're willing to play some higher stuff. Yeah, let me know, and then I will look to buy some action for sure.
All right, I can hit you up if I sell action on GG, and
Sure, sure.
if you are interested, I think it's a safe way for you to do it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's okay. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I would trust you with buying action this way also. Like, so don't mind, don't really um worry about that. So yeah, but let me know if you're selling something on GG. I will probably look to buy some action, and yeah, we'll be in touch.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So we have a follow up session in a month. Like,
Yeah.
do we have
Just.
an extra section? I
Mhm. Yeah, so that will be basically you sending me the database, and I just go through the stuff and check. We just basically do a quick checkup that the stuff that we mentioned that needs to be like improved, that just to check if that's improved, right? So you can do in a
Okay.
month, you can do in a month, in 2 months, whenever you collect kind of enough hands to cover this stuff that we mentioned.
What? So something like 50K hands in two
Probably
months.
50K hands is I think good sample to begin with. Yeah, to where we can see some changes basically.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
man.
hit me
Thanks.
up. Yeah, you're welcome, and be in touch. Talk
Great.
soon.
I really appreciate your help, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank
Good
you.
luck.
Good luck. Bye bye.